What's up, gamers and geeks? Matt here with That's Fair Podcasting and Gaming Geeks Live. And in this video, I'm going to talk about an upcoming spy-like hitman thriller video game coming out called Blackwood. Now, if you're a fan of the John Wick films or you're a big fan of the Max Payne video games, I'm telling you this is going to be your type of video game. You will be controlling this protagonist named Anton Blackwood. Now, by day, you're basically this low-key, you run this low-key DVD store, kind of minding your own business, making your living that way. But by night, you are a highly skilled hitman for hire and infiltrator and or assassin for hire. So I gotta tell you, man, this game, if you're into the Bourne style type of things, or even the Jack Bauer's or James Bond to a degree, this game will be for you, but stay tuned. From high-level intelligence thefts to going against these crime syndicates, this game is supposed to have this John Wick feel, set in like a 2012 darker version of New York City, Brooklyn to be precise. And this game is going to have you literally becoming masters of types of firearms to martial arts. And again, it's going to give you more of a Jason Bourne or John Wick style feel with that Max Payne familiarity. But if you are new here, please feel free to subscribe to That's Fair Podcasting or Gaming Geeks Live. Maybe please like the video, help me in that algorithm. You guys have been doing so well. Thank you so much. I sincerely appreciate it. And if you don't do any of those and you just watch this latest video on an upcoming spy/assassin thriller video game called Blackwood, thank you so much for sticking it out. I sincerely appreciate you. Protagonist Anton Blackwood. Again, he runs this like low-key DVD store during the day. Literally deals with locals. You know, you're gonna like in the game. I don't know how much it's going to delve into that, but you'll have your regulars renting these DVDs. This takes place about 14 years ago from now, basically in Brooklyn, New York. And again, you're kind of in charge of running this DVD store that's, pretty popular on the corner. And again, you deal with locals, you're dealing with people, but then things shift because at night you become a literal hitman, like a hired assassin or infiltrator, and you're going to be going against different crime syndicates as well as being paid to infiltrate secured areas to steal high-level intelligence. Now, what that is, I don't know yet. There's very little on this. There are some trailers that are going to be seen, obviously, right here too. But you live in a very fragile and just a low-key daytime existence, but at night you're totally different. And I'm kind of looking forward to this. Now let's talk about the gameplay and the combat mechanics that we can expect in Blackwood, which will be, you're going to have, obviously there's going to be, and it looks like it in the trailer, fluid gunplay. You're going to have a lot of close quarter firefights where you're going to be in cover, duck and cover, especially if you get ripped out of your vehicle or you have to stop. There's a lot of, but they're going to be a lot more, again, close quarter firefights, and there's going to be a lot of hard hitting various martial art moves that are going to allow for combinations and whatnot that you'll be able to obviously get familiar with by muscle memory, with both melee and firefights that are going to be taking place that'll also lean on a lot of tactical movements that you will get used to by positioning your protagonist. So it's going to take a lot of, you can't just, it's not going to be one of those things where you can be out in the open and you hope they aim like stormtroopers. You literally got to use a lot of tact in taking cover, timing your shots, things like that, even though it's close quarters. And then if they rush you, that's where your martial arts expertise comes into play. And so you're going to have finishing moves and eliminations in this as well during your martial art and melee combat. There's going to be a lot of situated takedowns. You're going to be using a lot of environment around you, much like Jason Bourne did in the movies. So if you'll have items you can pick up and use as weapons. So it's always going to be you relying on your protagonist, and you're going to have to use your situational awareness that is all around you when controlling Anton Blackwood. And that's what's going to make the combat in this, I think, beautiful, because again, it's going to be set on a lot of timing shots. But again, there's going to be finishing moves and eliminations that are going to allow you to permanently take these I guess we'll just call them bad guys down. But again, you're fighting a lot of different crime syndicates along the way. as far as also doing hired missions for infiltration and whatnot. But yeah, everything around you can be used in your arsenal as a weapon. So it's going to be an environmental game in that regard too. Maybe you can grab a trash can, maybe you can grab a stick or a brick. But yeah, anything around you, it's using your situational awareness during these combat episodes. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I think that's a good, unique perspective that they're going about on this one. Now, let's talk about the choices in this game that are allegedly supposed to matter. Decisions that you make, even during the day, any violent outcomes that you use, any combat that you use at night, either one can literally affect your decision the next day or night. So if you make a serious decision during the day, it can alter the course of what happens to you at night. And this also alters a lot of Anton's relationships in this game as well. So decisions are going to be pivotal, and the developers have literally talked about how if you play this game differently, you could literally have different outcomes constantly, depending on the decisions you make. There's going to be a lot of decision based in real time that's going to force you to make these decisions. So like I said, if you piss someone off during the day, you probably blow it with them at night, obviously. And depending on the decisions you make, are you going to be passive, or are you going to take the more chaotic approach and beat someone's ass? I mean, again, decisions that you make, regardless of the outcome at that time, are going to have long-term ramifications. So choose your choices wisely, man, because this, again, it's going to cause you to literally have a hard time having the same playthrough unless you keep deliberately making every same choice again. But the world of Blackwood, we will talk about that. And this takes place in a more gritty, authentic version of Brooklyn. It's going to be a lot less Hollywood, and what I mean by that is, you're not going to have like these Hollywood films that make Hollywood almost a paradise in a sense that makes it, you don't buy it. This is going to be a more gritty, darker, realistic version of Brooklyn in 2012. So, it just depends. You're going to see a lot of the neon signs that you saw back in the day. You're going to have a lot of posters on windows and whatnot. So you can expect an authentic feel for Brooklyn when you're playing the game Blackwood. And then, there's going to be also constant evolving street movement as well with the pedestrians and whatnot. So I don't know how many of those people you can interact with, but it's always going to be, from what they say, an ever-evolving street movement of people. There's also it's going to be a dark, grounded narrative bit of storytelling as well. So again, they're going to make that less Hollywood, more realistic as far as a darker version of Brooklyn, or the way it's probably really experienced in real life. So yeah, this game actually sounds pretty interesting. It sounds pretty good to me, and a dark, grounded narrative storytelling, which means it kind of focused on a deeper story. So, that's something to look forward to in Blackwood. So yeah, it's something that's actually looking forward to, definitely. And I think a lot of you guys, if you like the spy thrillers, or if you like the Hitman series, again, or Max Payne, this game's going to be right up our alley, I think. As far as release date, it's set to release on PC or Steam launch in Q3 of this year. So you're looking at the third quarter of 2026. It's not supposed to have an Xbox drop, but it is supposed to have a PlayStation 5 launch after its launch on Steam or PC. And this game is being developed what is called Atreto M7 Productions. Never heard of them. Kind of looking forward to seeing what they have. But yeah, Atreto M7 Productions is making Blackwood. But guys, that's pretty much the thick of it. You have a spy thriller and an infiltrator, a hitman who literally uses his cover just by running some low-key DVD store during the day. And you're supposed to have a pretty good Brooklyn, a very evolving map, and it's going to be very environmentally based. So guys, I'm sincerely looking forward to Blackwood. I'd like to know your thoughts in the comment section. If this is something that looks interesting to you, let me know. Please feel free to subscribe to That's Fair Podcasting or Gaming Geeks Live. Thank you so much for sticking with me. And if you don't subscribe or even like the video, that's fine. If you stuck with me this long, thank you so much. And to all you gamers out there, all love, and I'm outro.